up to speed, up to speed, up to speed.
Oh, nigga.
Live from the apocalypse, your wish has come true. And when the genie comes to grant you these wishes, bring your attorney. This is Dan O. I am Cerberus, the three-headed Dan. The kind of person who makes up his own nicknames. And my co-host, who's here every week, a Lucy Pearl historian.
Oh yeah.
Country music star. So, K Diggy, thank you for being here.
Yeah, man.
We are rocking and rolling. I am so glad that we have these episodes together. Last episode with Kill Von Guard was unbelievable. It's a very intelligent episode. And he was very excited to hear that our guests this week were coming after us. Because they have crafted some really important music, and it's very smart music. There's a lot of craft to it. I'm going to be talking about homonyms and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be going in, but it's spiritual music. That's what I was thinking about and realized. It's spiritual music. It's music that interacts with life beyond this material surface. And that's not easy to get to as early in the journey as they're at. So Dylan and Monzy the Terrible, thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you guys for having us. Shout out to you guys and everything that you've done for the quote unquote underground.
Yep.
Big service. So shout out you guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're excited to be here.
The mission defined, we're on it. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just very excited, and I knew there was important things happening, right? Like, and I have to thank Trey Does.
Yeah.
Shout out Trey.
Shout
out. I will kill you, N-word. That's my N-word, dude.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
He's a huge Monzy proponent.
Trey's been there.
Yeah, honestly.
Revenge of Abel.
Trey's got excellent taste. So I jumped in, I listened to Revenge of Abel, and I was like, ooh, there's something here. Like, I'm gonna remember these people. And then Permanent Prosthetic hit, and I was like, all right, this is my shit. Like, I'm here now, I'm invested. So and looking back on this 2023 for you, what was it like to get the name up like this? How did that work out?
I think that everything kind of just functioned best when everything started feeling a lot more organic.
Yeah, I mean, like, I started out at this little studio in Aurora, and I play in a hardcore band or metalcore band, and like Monzy was in a band, and we kind of knew of each other, and then I hit them up. They were trying to rap, and it just kind of started from there, and it started feeling more like us just hanging out, being homies, making music, and like,
because the way we craft songs, we function it like we're writing like for a band. We're very involved in the process of like vocal placement or just like beat making process, which
and music.
Every rapper should be involved with the production process. I'm gonna say that right now. Anyway, that's kind of like how we started, because it wasn't really supposed to start off like that. Like, I figured I text him like, we'll make a song, and then when we made that song, which was Foreigner from Revenge of Abel, that was the first song, right. And then it was supposed to be like 5 songs, but then after 5 turned into 7, and then 2 albums later, the rest is history. So like, to make a very long story short, everything kind of happened organically, and thank God it did too.
Yeah.
Because like I wouldn't have continued the project where it felt forced. You know, that's just me though.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, we've talked to lots of people that I think that that's the tricky part of this is you end up in an interview with somebody asking you to describe the relationship you have with your producer, and you're like,
Yeah,
I don't know, like we like
yeah,
great partners have an unspoken language they can just do. They can just
yeah.
tune in with each other, you know?
Like it really helped that we were friends before we started making music together, just playing like each other's shows and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think that's important to like really have a good relationship outside of music with whoever you're making music with. It just you can hear it in the music.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And well, and you can hear it when it's not lining up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You
yeah,
know, you can hear it when you're like, he doesn't like this beat, you know?
yeah. But you can tell when there's like been a rush job on an album,
Yep. Yep.
and that's when it's like, okay, tank it or start from the beginning. Those are your two options. Those are your two best options right now.
We're like, RZA
Yeah.
likes the beats, but none of us like the beats. Oh no.
Bobby Digital.
Yep.
My man, Bobby Digital.
8 diagrams is what that's rough. Yeah, I've heard people be like, 8 diagrams is actually great. And you're like, even if the beats were great, they sound like they hate the beats, so I can't like this music.
Yeah, it's honestly, and it's
I
like
can't do this.
I have very like controversial opinions on Wu-Tang, and it's like if I speak,
Yeah.
you know, but they're still a very they're prolific because of the impact they have on hip hop. And if I wouldn't imagine them like making an album and not having it feel at least like this is something we started as brothers, let's keep going as brothers.
Right.
No matter the quality of any of their like newer projects are, which again, if I speak, if I fucking speak,
I hear you.
you know, but I digress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
to
mean,
that.
what you said originally of like the rapper should be involved. If you never get involved, then you leave the producer that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Square one. You didn't learn anything from the relationship.
Yeah.
Be able to incorporate it into the next. Yeah.
The beats you rap over should be your favorite beats. It should be something you would want to rap over. If it's not something you want to rap over, why the fuck did you record the song? You know, so that's why it's very important you're involved so that the producer knows your vision and you know the producer's vision. You guys can just fucking melt that shit.
Yeah, from like the producer side, I love that Monzy helps because it's like it gets us on the same page, gets us on the same vision, and then after the first couple songs, it starts to just flow.
Right. Which
Yeah, I can imagine that on the producer side, it can be a little weird and lonely to be like, do you like this beat?
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of the time I'll make something and I don't really like it. And Monzy's like, this is good. And then we'll work with it and it turns into Giving Tree, or it turns into something that I didn't even think was gonna make it off my hard drive, you know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Kay, I'm very excited that you listened to Monzy the Terrible. I don't think if this was episode 5, I don't think you would have understood this stuff at all.
No. I mean, I enjoyed it actually.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good marriage. Like the rapping and the production go hand in hand really well and create something unique.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's mostly Dylan.
No,
there's real
No, to
growth.
both of you because it's like the juxtaposition.
we go back and
Yeah.
forth all the
it's
time.
like
Yeah,
the,
honestly.
It's like, the contract, because for me, like the production for both projects, it almost reminded me of, and it's almost like Charlie Brown. There's like a
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
but
that's
then,
very
at the
true.
same time, like the lyrics are really dark. So it's like the juxtaposition of the two is like really, really interesting to me.
Right, the moody backdrop situation where you're just like
Yeah.
you can feel the mood change and shift. Yeah,
Cool.
I like
Thanks,
that.
dude.
That's
I
an
like
awesome
that.
way to put it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
It's real dope. And I was wondering, I was like, man, am I gonna write down questions for Monzy today? And I was like, nope, I'm just gonna write down all the coolest Monzy lines and just dump that. Like, because I was like, there's so much to this, to the writing and to the presentation that I really enjoy.
Thanks,
Um,
man.
Hmm.
and I think, yeah, so we had talked last week about we had we had talked called it like the Dr. Katz MC, right? That you are
Okay.
on a journey of self-examination, right?
Sure. Oh yeah, like that definitely makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And because and I did like obviously there's gonna be people who push back say, oh, all MCs are on the self-examination. Yes, Rick Ross is examining what he wants to wear when he wants to wear it. Totally agree.
And
Or
eat what he wants
yeah,
to eat.
yeah,
But
yeah.
there's
Important.
levels of depth, right? This is like a pool that you can be on the kiddie pool side of self-examination, or you can be on the deep end, right?
Yeah.
And even in the deep end, there's different ways to navigate. And I think the way you navigate is hacking and slashing. Like very, you're very sharp and cutting with your observations, hacking and slashing at the world, but also yourself.
Yeah, I try to find a balance between that. Which thank you, by the way, for those kind words. You good, nigga?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What I was gonna say, my bad. I didn't mean to call you out or nothing, brother.
All good. All good. Hacking and slashing, there's a lot of blood on the floor.
Sure. But what I was saying was, the way I write, it's very honest. And I try to cover that in both senses, honest with my observation on the world and in honest with like myself. Because who am I to just say, yo, the world's fucked up, but I'm perfect? Like I have to be honest with myself, and that offers a leveled playing field between the listener and the
Yeah.
Monzy. So yeah, no. And it's very helpful for when I write because I'm just writing off real life. That's all it is. Kind of. I would hate to fabricate anything. I'd hate to say anything I don't believe in or don't know shit about. So, and I'm not saying I have this vast knowledge or introspection on things. This is just what I've observed, and here it is, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about Kay. We've talked before about how there are some artists where they can deliver a song that feels like an album's worth of a song.
Yeah.
And I think each of these projects, Revenge of Abel and Permanent Prosthetic, have at least one of those songs where I was like, this is an album's worth of shit you just unpacked in this song.
Thanks, man. Oh, thank you.
And I could go over them here. It's 4NR is on Revenge of Abel.
Foreigner,
Yeah.
my bad.
Foreigner,
It's pronounced foreigner. My bad. Yeah.
I am very white, so I don't catch up on this
You're
shit
good.
later.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm still calling him JID. You know how that.
I mean, yeah,
I
no,
call
same
him
here.
Jay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I
What's the
don't-
dots?
So, my drug addiction, fucking up my diction pronunciation shitted, And then I think there's later on, there's my mother called me a monster quoting those sacred scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. And then
Yeah.
F the world, I ain't even need a fluffer. I just stuff it in raw. I can watch you African American gentlemen suffer.
Uh-huh.
And it was like the that's why I wanted to talk to you about vengeance and shame in the bonus context. I was like, I felt very relaxed listening to that. Very like, thank God there's someone that's petty like me that like is on this level of like, boy, is my anger a problem, you know? And I think that's definitely there where like there's moments in the album where you are just stewing in your own hostility, and there's moments when you're like, I really need to do something about this hostility.
No, because like that's another part of I don't want to just stay angry forever. At some point, you're gonna
Right.
have to fucking swim,
Yep.
you know? Uh, but I'm glad you picked out those lyrics. Those might be my favorite lyrics off that song.
It's there's so much there. And then to go to Marley and Me was always something that blew me away. First listen.
Oh, thanks,
So
man.
on Permanent Prosthetic, you know, I got predictions with my eyes closed because cops keep macing me, or at least fix this broken ass watch because it reminded me of me. I used to write twice a day. Now I'm hardly in sync. White folks cry at the end of Marley and Me. I hold back tears because every dream I had is sparsely in reach. Crazy. Crazy.
Did you have an experience with Marley and Me that sparked that song?
I was just kind of not
Like you cry at the
necessarily,
end. Yeah, I
not
have seen that.
necessarily, but it's like the first time I watched it, it was obviously very sad. I was a teenager when I first watched it. I'm like, hey, this is very sad. I clearly haven't read the book,
Right.
but this movie is very moving. Owen Wilson's in it for some reason.
Right.
But then growing up,
That's great.
but then growing up, you go on fucking, I don't know, Facebook, and
Yep.
then it's like these Tumblr edits about Marley and Me, and it's just like you white people have a very big affinity with empathizing with animals.
Mhm.
I've noticed.
Right.
You too, nigga. What's up?
Yeah, I for sure cried watching that movie when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
nigga, I know you did. No, but as it did just kind of put
It's a great job, like putting those images together with the mace of the cop and then the Marley and Me, and just the watch being broken and the dreams not coming, not being visible. You're like, one of the things that I think is so important for people to understand about racism is you don't know what you don't.
yeah.
So if you don't know what you don't know, that means I'm alone. You know what I'm saying? On the other side of that shit,
Yeah.
like that person's alone. They're feeling there's nobody fucking there. You know?
Yeah. Cause like in regards to that movie, you can hear talk about all these people, all these fucking Disney adults. They can talk about how sad it is, and that's a shared experience. We know it's sad, but what's my reality? I'm fucking depressed. I have to worry about my father every time he goes out to work because I don't know if any shithead cop is gonna fucking run him over and kill him. I don't. That's we can revel in the fact that things are bad, but it's the moment you try to dismiss actual issues that are life threatening, then that's when we can put things in perspective and say, hey, that's a problem. And I can't offer solutions, but we can't just brush over these problems like they're nothing.
Right.
They care more about the dog.
Yeah, they care more about the dog. The hog loves the dog. I don't know.
Yeah, the dog dying is definitely sad, but the thing is, no one ever had to argue that that was sad, and we've had to like we had
But
to
we have
argue,
to argue if
right,
Derek Chauvin was justified in killing George Floyd.
right.
That's the biggest point that I tried to make in the first verse, or the ending rather than the first verse.
That shit is So it was great. And I don't know how you felt, Kay, but I really felt the difference between Revenge of Abel and Permanent Prosthetic.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Permanent Prosthetic. I mean, I thought Revenge of Abel was. I mean, the production was light, but it was very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a juxtaposition. Like, you know, I said the production kind of reminded me of Charlie Brown, but at the same time, there was like a darkness to it. And I thought that Prosthetic Permanent, there was, I mean, that the production was in the same vein, but there was a little bit more like lightness injected into it.
Yeah. And I think you could tell by the cover. The covers, right?
Yeah.
Like the difference in the album covers is a great signifier in the difference in the sound.
Right. And so Dylan Land, how did your production evolve in the space between those two albums?
I definitely feel like after Revenge of Abel, me and Monzy like really like synced up even more. So like I kind of already knew, we both kind of already knew what we wanted Permanent Prosthetic to sound like. And I definitely wanted to incorporate more like atmospheric and like more of like a psychedelic kind of sound into like this like hip hop alternative-ish kind of music. And I guess it's more of like a band sounding on Permanent Prosthetic, whereas a lot of the stuff on Revenge of Abel are like hip hop beats, a lot of like sampled drums rather than me using like live sounding drums and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
And to the production side as well, Dylan doesn't have like a tight beat, and I would hate to rap over like a tight beat. Like,
that's a good point.
I want what Dylan can offer, and I like what I like. So
I don't really sit down and like make beats. I'm not one to like sit down and make like 5 beats a day or whatever. If I'm feeling inspired, and I'll write something or I'll make something, and like me and Monzy will sit down and we'll make stuff together, which is always more enjoyable for me.
Yeah, no, I think like a classic hip hop beat is a circle. It's a loop. You know, and so it's tight, it feeds into itself. And what you're doing is much more frayed, you know, but man, when it works, it's incredible. Like the Genocide Pact, I wrote down the fucking horn in that. I love like
that horn is sick.
I love a broken horn that carries just all the sadness in the world. Like that is that fucking horn, dude.
Not to blow smoke up my own ass, but I did make that beat in 2020, and then he remade it and then added the horns and shit.
Yeah, we didn't.
Shit!
The beat, so
he just remade it.
We were just listening and figuring out what to add and how to make it sound like what Monzy had written, and it turned into like one of my favorite ones that we made.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
I never really sample things. I love just playing stuff out. Play guitar, play piano. So for that one, like I ended up sampling kind of what we played, like sampling ourselves, and chopping it up.
Yeah,
and
we laid down like a sax line, and then he just chopped it up and sampled it that way.
Right.
Just through like MIDI and everything. But
yeah, these beats are in service of Monzy, right? They are that's why I liked the Charlie Brown music thought, the Vince Giraldi stuff, because it is in service of the mood you are carrying through. It's a soundtrack. It's not sometimes hip hop beats, it's about the beat. You know what I mean? And no one's really thinking about the MCs. They're just hoping you don't suck, you know. but these beats really do set for you what's going on. And there's so much room to grow, I think, for both of you.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Bludgeoned by Choice, the
Mm.
last song on Permanent Prosthetic. Because when hell feels like home, it ain't gonna be enough aloe. Like, that's great. And
Man.
it's just a great use of you singing on that.
Oh,
And,
thanks,
like,
man. I appreciate that.
it's just, and I'm not saying everybody should sing. I'm not saying, like, I don't like those things. It sounds like freedom. It sounds like you doing whatever the fuck you want, and that was the right time for that.
Thanks, dude.
And as you get more comfortable together, you'll be able to find more freedom and explore different places sonically. Did you feel that as you kept rolling?
Yeah, I mean, like that song in itself was made a little later in the process of making Permanent Prosthetic. So as we were continuing to like make these beats and songs together, the more I realized that there ain't no rules to this music shit.
Yeah.
Like if I want to sing, I'm gonna fucking sing. If I'm gonna write a bunch of free jazz poems, if I want to make 3 songs worth of free jazz poem, I'm gonna do it. And that's why we have Marley and Me. That's why we have That Some Jazz. That's why we have Bludgeoned by Choice. That's why I'm singing on Charlie Chaplin. Because like, if I'm going to want to make music that I want to listen to, I'm going to want to do what I want to make that happen.
Yeah.
Basically. So yeah, no, I mean, like, thank you for those words. Yeah, no, definitely. As time goes on, we're gonna find a lot more freedoms within making music together, because there's only uphill from here.
Yeah,
I feel.
definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so okay. Yeah. We talked about, like, there's humor here. There's dark humor happening.
Mhm.
With some of the images and the crazy stuff. We talked about the lashing out, right? Like the self-examination. What was the looking in the mirror, my number one nemesis. You don't even know that his downfall is imminent. Charlie
Mm.
Chaplin. Like that's very Monzy, you know? And it's awesome. But the ones that really blow me away, that ambush me, are just these very, like, erudite, classically written things where you're like, I could hand this to a professor and he'd be like, that shit's great.
I appreciate that, man. A shout out to my mom, because she taught me how to write essays and do creative writing. There was one summer where like once a week she would have she would give like my siblings a prompt and write and give us like actual like edits and stuff. And at the time it was like, why the fuck would I do this instead of going outside? But it helped me as a writer. So shout out my mom. I'll let her know you said that.
How would you say that those skills bled into your writing as a rapper?
Well, it just bled into my writing in general. Um Opening sentence, thesis, great closer. That's just like how I form my lyrics as an essay. And that really bled into like how I write narratives, what words I use, not to be verbose, but to use vocabulary to the best of my like vessel.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and because word choice does matter. Like, that's, I think, an undersold thing, right? That, like, there are MCs who have made a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
who never get brought up in best MC conversations.
I feel
And
that, yeah.
the reason, sometimes it's because of word choice, right? Like, you can call out everything they're about to say before they say it.
This is true.
They're not growing and challenging themselves, right? They're not hitting you from the left, from the right, you know.
Yeah, it's like, man, fuck. I love Nas. I do.
Yep.
But god damn it. Has the quality just been slipping? And it's like, I love that he's still doing this
Yep.
because it just shows that he just loves this shit. God damn it. You gotta be sharpening that pen, man.
Right. Right.
You gotta be sharpening that fucking pen, dude. You can't write Illmatic, then turn around and make 3 magics.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck that, or Kingdom or King's Back, whatever. King's Disease. My bad.
yeah. I mean, it's
And then he did 2 magics. Yeah.
Yo,
so
shit, he did 2 magics. So yeah, fuck y'all.
Three
almost
King's
like,
Disease, 2 magics.
it's with
Yeah,
Nas, it's almost
why?
a red pill, blue pill situation. It's like
Yeah.
the red pill is I'm gonna release a really epic album every 8 years.
And
The
he
blue pill
just did
is,
that.
I'm gonna give you like 3 a year. They're gonna be perfectly fine lyrically,
But like, I
interesting,
mean,
maybe
hey,
production wise, but like it's gonna be fine.
yeah, I mean, Nas is like hip hop's No Effects. You know that band?
Ooh, I like this. I like this.
Yeah,
Fuck.
they had some great albums starting out, and then it's been a lot of filler, and then like every now and then they'll make like a solid record that can get them at like Fest or
Yep.
something, but then they'll say some bullshit and get
Yeah.
themselves canceled again.
I mean,
Or whatever.
the one that I was thinking of with it was Ludacris, right? I went back to
Mhm.
Ludacris's first album.
Ludacris was dope starting out, dude.
Ludacris was a lot of fun. There was a lot of like
Dude.
crunk, like
People don't give him a lot of credit.
Oh, geez. It was a lot of fun.
He was very. I loved his charisma.
Charisma, super.
I
charisma.
loved it.
Yep.
I just, man, but these actor rapper type motherfuckers, they start to lose it. Common was slipping for a little bit, and then they stopped giving him movie roles, and then he kind of went back on track.
So that's my thing is I don't think there was ever anything there. Like there. Like when you look at what he was saying, there wasn't actually much there. You know?
Who, Ludacris?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
true.
it was, paint, faint, it was all pretty straightforward in terms of what he was doing.
Yeah.
I know, so it was all about the charisma, it was all about the voice and the flow, right?
Yeah.
But
all super horny
and,
for like no reason.
And he's great, and he's he's made a lot of money, and I've got no problem with him, but he'll never be in the discussions because there was nothing there, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, like he has bangers and they're all enjoyable, and some of the he'll have like a few bars here and there. Like I forgot what that one record was with all the features. Like every song had a feature. Chris Rock was on it for like some goddamn reason. It came out in 2008.
He's a fun feature. He's a fun feature now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it was like all features. It was like every song had a feature except for like one, which was his best song on that album.
Crazy.
I know.
No, it's yeah.
not to besmirch Ludacris or anything.
No, sorry, gotten enough of that.
No, yeah, that nigga in these commercials and shit. Just
to give you some,
just do a 20th Fast and Furious and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
At this point,
enjoy. But it's to give you some college professor Monzy bars. That's some jazz. Really fucked me up. Like that really fucked me up. I burned the sun to dust. Daedalus ain't the only one to abandon his son's trust. That's the homonym.
Thanks,
son. That's. I mean, I just love that.
I'm glad you and my brother are the only ones that picked that up.
Oh, I was like, damn. I'm with it.
Thanks, dude. Thanks,
Um,
man.
And of this, and beyond just like that, in terms of, because that is very artfully designed, right? That is designed. That bar, every word has to be in the right place for that to work. Um, and you did that. But beyond that, like acid rain baths, like dead star alignments, even supernovas fine timing. It's through a blood tithe. The time was binding. Like it's just beautiful. Like
Thanks,
uh,
man.
objectively great, right?
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
So yeah. Did you have any of those, Kay, where you were like, ooh, he just said what?
You know what? I really liked, for me, it was the simplicity. Like you would have like a bar, like I think it was off of Prosthetic Permanent. You had there's no mental health breaks when you're trying to get the rent paid.
Boom.
I think that's
Oh, Marlon Me.
yeah, or maybe that's Marley. Yeah.
No,
And I just thought that that
Yeah.
bar really stuck out with me because I think you did a great job of taking, and you've done it multiple times from the tracks I've heard. You take a sentiment and you really like boil it down to its essence, and you're like able to deliver it in like a really impactful way.
Right.
I appreciate that, man.
I mean that simple bar, like you're covering like a lot of ground very efficiently, you know?
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I just feel like words should have power. So
Mhm.
let's see how much power I can give other words.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everything
and
you say should be meaningful. Go ahead, my bad.
yeah. No, I was saying like because what Kay said made me think like because what I noticed was like all the lines I pointed out, they're very like really in depth.
Mhm.
Those were the verses, those were not the hooks, right? For the hooks, you really boiled it down to like Kay said, hit you in the face with what I'm talking about.
Thanks, dude. Yeah.
And they weren't like they're not simple hooks. It's not like, I'm sad, I'm sad. It's not like some, it's still crazy like imagery and in depth, but it hits you in the face. It's direct. It can't be misunderstood,
Thanks,
right?
dude.
Uh, you can't listen to Monzy and be confused and be like, what is he talking about? Like everybody knows what Monzy's talking about.
I try to, and I try. That's like what I try to do with choruses. Choruses, I do treat them like verses in that I have to give every line meaning, or if it's just one bar, like on Who Hash, "This Is No Place to Die." I wanted to make it as impactful as possible and make it as cohesive with the rest of the song. Choruses, I have a little more freedom with because choruses should also be fun. That's why
Right.
they're called hooks.
Mhm.
So
And it
garnering
feels
all that information, yeah.
and it feels like permanent prosthetic is based a little bit around that, right? That like you wanted to kick up the tempos a little bit. You wanted to like to ride out on these songs because the natural trajectory is darker and darker and sadder and sadder. Like it's
Yeah.
natural. You see MCs where they were like, this album is even more bracing and introspective.
Mhm.
And you went the other direction, and it's actually it moves, it's vibrant, it's really cool.
Thanks, man. Every emotion that I've had, I want to be able to convey in a very clear manner, in a very direct way. So you to notice that, I appreciate that.
And with I was gonna say with so for permanent prosthetic, or what what was the conversation that you and Dylan were having going into that? Like what was your goal, or like what were your aims for this project?
I guess more like artistic freedom. I mean, Revenge of Abel was fun to do, and it did what it did. It continues to do what it do, and I I love that album too. I just felt like with Permanent Prosthetic, the general ilk of what we were trying to accomplish was like how much more can we do sonically with this record? How much more freedom Dylan has with the beats, how much more liberty I have with saying what I want or using different vocal patterns, or
Mhm.
how many verses go into a song. Like 3 of those songs have 3 verses. A lot of niggas just stop at 2 unless they have a feature or a posse cut, you know?
And like switching up the beats more into not just like one loop playing out through the whole song, where it's like there'll be an intro part, a chorus part, a verse part, and then maybe either like a bridge or the whole beat will kind of switch into something else. I think there's like 3 or 4 different beats on Permanent Prosthetic that are like kind of half and half, where the beat will switch up about halfway through,
Right.
just to keep things more interesting and to allow more freedom for Monzy to convey like different feelings.
Yeah. I mean, that was basically it. Just seeing how far we could go.
It kind of felt like we got Revenge of Abel done, and then that kind of like showed us what we wanted to do next. It's almost like a upgraded version of Revenge of Abel, where we really were like locked in at that point, because we didn't stop working between the albums.
Right. Like,
I think within like a week of the album out, we had written Giving Tree.
yeah.
And that kind of set the tone for like the whole album.
So we were just impressed, like generally just so impressed of like how like Giving Tree, like how fast we made it, and then how good it sounded, and then we're just like, okay, well, time to make another album. It was simple as that. But yeah, I mean that's kind of like how both those records basically. I mean, like Revenge of Abel was very infantile because I had never rapped on record before. I had been writing rap since I was 11. I'm 27 now. So I was just sharpening my pen. I mean, and I was doing like different genres, like writing for different genres. Like I was writing for punk bands, I was writing for hardcore bands, I was writing for new metal bands, I was writing for emo bands. I had an acoustic project for a while. I had an electronic project for a while too. Didn't do good because it's not good. But yeah, Revenge of Abel was basically testing the waters, um, seeing what we liked, seeing what we didn't like, and then seeing how we can get both our tastes to meld. And then Permanent Prosthetic was kind of like, okay, like how comedians will test out jokes and then they'll bring their best jokes to their 1 hour comedy special. That's how we basically did it sonically, anyway.
That's awesome. And because as a writer, to me, it was very important to write different kinds of things, right? To write an essay, to write poetry, to write plays, to understand what I really like about this form and how to move it over here, And I think you must have done that. You must have sat there and thought, if I shorten this rap hook, it can have the punch of a punk hook.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. Because, dude, I've learned so much from like writing wise from different musicians and genres. It's like, how can I take LP's flow but mix it with the disparity of a Daniel Johnston with the intensity of like an integrity hook, you know? So I mean, all these worlds I wanted to meld in as a writer, and then like exploring different genres really helped that as well.
Yeah,
just seeing what I could do like lyrically and like how to form a song, basically.
yeah. I mean, even just as a listener, if you're not making music, if you feel like you've been listening to too much of something, you're right.
No, yeah, no.
You switch it up, go as far in the other direction as you can, and mix that together. So
that's the only way to get better, honestly. Can't stay grounded in the same dirt. you gotta grow at some point. And I feel like the point of Dylan and I coming together every time is growth. And we've seen it, we've experienced it just objectively.
Right.
Um but yeah, no, I'd hate, like I said, I'd hate for things to go stagnant and feel like we're just rehashing old ideas. The old dog may have more tricks than the pony, but they're still old fucking tricks.
And I just had this is very interesting because I think your journey is a little bit old school, right? Like in the sense that nowadays you have people kind of writing, releasing their first project, becoming, big before they have a lot of experience under their belt.
Yeah, we're trying.
And like, but you started writing when you're 11, you're 27 now, and you wrote for all these different musical genres. You've been a part of a lot of different scenes.
Of course, yeah.
You kind of, you baked in the oven, you didn't go in the microwave, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Nigga, we flambéed that shit, butter basted that hoe. Soak that bitch in water for 2 days.
Yep, marinade, all
We
that shit.
marinated that motherfucker. Watermelon rind, pickle scallion on the alley, whatever Billy would say.
But no, it's important because then you have experience to draw from to be able to say, oh, okay, like I've
Yeah,
seen this.
yeah. And I feel like that's like you always have to switch it up at some point, whether you're successful at it or not. I mean, I'm rapping now, so obviously I wasn't successful in those other genres, but I still will give those other genres a try because I genuinely enjoy those types of music and I want to keep getting better. This is just the thing I'm having more fun with, to be honest.
And I don't want to make this seem like I'm against being young and dope. If you're young and dope, that's great. Like,
Yeah,
just
no, of course. Like,
take over the fucking world, enjoy.
dude,
But like,
niggas don't talk about how dope Lil Bow Wow was when he started.
crazy,
Oh, he was.
Dope.
crazy.
Was. Yeah, dude.
But
He's
he's
underrated.
Under fucking rated. Shout out Lil Bow Wow. Sean Moss, big head ass. My bad. Go ahead. What's up?
But like, all I would say is give yourself the time, right?
Yeah.
Give
No.
yourself the time because there's a lot of outside pressure to keep putting stuff out.
Yeah, it's like man, these prolific like people, like mixtape rappers, like Gucci Mane. I love Gucci Mane's albums, but it's like all the mixtapes just kind of meld into one another, and it's like if you keep dropping like 8 projects a year, then that kind of takes the sustenance out of the last thing you dropped.
Right.
You have to time that shit out. You have to be consistent, but you have to also let people give people time to digest it. Give yourself time to digest a project. You can't just putting out things for the sake of putting out things. It has to mean something.
Yeah.
I have a question. So let's go for Permanent Prosthetic. How many songs did you record for the project versus how many you kept?
I think out of the 10 we chose, there was only like 12 or 13, right?
Yeah, I'd say 13 or 14.
Yeah, 13 or 14, yeah.
There was one that we didn't finish all the way.
Right.
Monzy just wasn't feeling it, so we just stopped working on it, which is usually how it goes.
So you're like very deliberate because like a lot of artists, like they're just creating, and then they'll pick whatever. But it seemed like to get 10 from 13, I mean that's like really
there's a lot more
efficient.
beats that weren't used that Monzy didn't even like rap on.
Right.
A few songs that we have that are whole songs, but they just weren't used.
There's one beat you didn't want to use because you didn't like the sample, but I fucked with it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Shut the fuck up. Yes, it is.
Maybe that one will come out later.
Maybe, nigga.
But we
Maybe.
still have them, so
Maybe, but yeah. I mean, here's the way we duke out projects or songs rather. Um, if we feel like it's going into a good direction, then obviously I'll rap over it and we'll use that. He'll mix it, but that it can't get good unless we're both guiding it along to where it could be at its best.
and sometimes it just doesn't fit the album.
Yeah,
Like
Right.
one just didn't fit with Permanent Prosthetic. We didn't know where it would fit in
yeah.
to
Like
the track list, so we just decided to like put it on the back burner.
everything about I mean, because I at least going into it, like even before like Dylan and I like met up, I knew that if this was going to be something that could work, I had to be very deliberate about every artistic decision made, and I feel like that was a good choice because we made two banger ass albums. I feel.
Yeah, no, but I think the thing that's interesting about what Kay said was like some people are just generating a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Like 50% of them, 30% of them get to the finish line, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like 90% to the finish line. You were walking these songs to the finish line. Like they're gonna get made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a different type of focus, right? Of like, we're gonna make this work.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually it starts with the beat, and if it's like something we both really like, um we like have to make it work, you know, like there's
Yeah.
no like scrapping it or whatever. And sometimes it changes up a lot, but a lot of time it's like whatever I make or whatever we make right away is like it's pretty solid, and we just kind of try not to overthink it.
Yeah, because then that just kind of complicates things and takes the song in a direction that none of us can agree on or decide on. So I mean, not overcomplicating things really works. We have conversations and we're honest about like different parts of the song, whether it's a vocal performance or just like a layer, maybe just like a single layer within the beat
Yeah.
that I don't like, but he wants to keep. Then we can like we
There's never any like hard feelings or anything like
yeah,
that.
we're very
Very
diplomatic about
open
it
to
too. Yeah,
trying to make the best art that we can make together.
yeah. But it's like if we want to keep working together, we have to make it as healthy a relationship as possible.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, which I think is really interesting, one of the things that I find very comforting about your music, is there's a lot of artists you listen to where they're not really sure if they want to be popular or not.
Mm,
You know, they
yeah,
or they are and they want to be popular, but they're not, and it's frustrating. You know,
yeah. Like
and
to the latter, like Earl Sweatshirt really wants to be underground, but he has there's merch at Zoomies with a caricature of his face. You can't not be a popular figure,
right.
But
How do you maintain that underground cred
yeah,
in that way? Yeah, it's yeah. So that becomes a weird dichotomy, but like you've crafted your music in a way as to where there's no casual Monzy fans. Period.
Yeah, that's cool.
that's cool as hell, dude.
There's
That's a cool
nobody
outfit.
who's like, we're gonna invite the family over, put on some Monzy the Terrible, cut up some pie.
Yeah.
Not
I
happening.
I tweeted this, but I said I don't want to make rap that you can show to your coworker. I refuse. I don't. The point of me making or writing what I write isn't to make you feel comfortable. It's just this is honest, sometimes visceral, but honest reactions and observations to things I've seen within myself and within the world and what has in the history of such things as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's be the best version of yourself, and other people will find you,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, I'm kind of like that too, or I like being around. Like it is like that,
Yeah.
like the shit that people enjoy about what I do here, people in real life find very annoying. Very annoying. And so I'm like, I come here, or log on, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so nice." They're like, I hope so, because it's it's not always,
Yeah.
you know.
No, yeah, of course.
So I think that's the people that are Monzy fans are like diehards,
Which is weird to think about,
Yeah.
because like I still have a fucking job, you know. I gotta bust tables tomorrow, nigga.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, no matter, I mean, like, even if I don't want to like think about it too hard, it is very appreciated knowing that both projects are still getting love to this day, like every like now and then, especially like recently we've been getting a lot of people that were like, hey, I just checked out your stuff and I went back to Revenge of Abel and that was really dope, and then I listened to the other one and that was dope, and then it's like that's cool that it's appreciated when anyone like takes the time to actually like listen to it. So
It's
that's
really cool because we've both been in like different bands and
Yeah.
stuff growing up our whole lives, and like
that didn't work.
this is like the most recognition, I guess, or most interaction
Yeah.
we've had with our music, and like it all has been very natural, which is very cool.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
sick.
I mean, I'm still working on how to take compliments. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
Super fucking hard. Because if you're fueled by negative energy, right? Like
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude.
somebody says something terrible to me, I get loose, I get comfortable. I'm like, I'm into it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like this is my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But like, and when someone's like genuinely appreciative of, I have no idea what the fuck to do.
Dude, like, yeah, and it's like, but that's the whole process that we were talking about of unlearning,
Yep.
because that shame that you've instilled in yourself, whether it was direct or a gradual thing,
Yep.
it's part of you, and for someone to make you feel like someone to even assume that you should be worthy of an ilk of respect or honor, it comes as a shock because you don't have that like within yourself. I don't.
Yeah.
A
Yep.
lot of times. So yeah, no, I definitely get what you're saying.
You got to sit there and just untie all the knots,
Yeah,
and
and
just
it's like,
do it.
like, what am I gonna say? Fuck you, like a piece of shit. Like, no, because like thank you, because my
Right.
parents raised me good.
Which,
yeah.
we also should talk about religion, right?
Mhm.
Just because with the spiritual intro that I gave, there's some incredible discussion of religion, and
Let's
your
get into
mother
it.
being very religious, your family being religious, and your addictive personality, and how that kind of the clashes between that, but the respect you have for it on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean, like, going straight edge for the 10 years that I was, I mean, I when I first started claiming edge, I thought it would fix things within myself and the rift I had with like church. I hate it. I hate church. I hate it.
Yep.
I fucking hate it. And God, and then realizing that, in high school, oh hey, guess what? You're bisexual, and it's like, oh fuck, well I got to deal with this now, and
Yeah.
I got to keep that from a family who at the time vilified that. Where am I gonna go if they kick me out? Yeah,
Right.
I'm 16. I have no one. So dealing with that. I mean, it's better now. She's a lot more accepting of, which is sick. And so it's a lot more like freeing, just to be. But like at the time, it was a rift between me and religion. Just because in Black culture, you grow up with three things: pain, music, God. And when you go against God, because it goes God, pain, the music. God, pain, music, probably. When you go against God in a Black family, there's problems. I was already a fuck up at home. I didn't want to put that on my parents, especially my mom, who sometimes we'd have church at home, and sometimes that was a big topic. Sometimes that was the only topic of LGBTQ queerness and the problems, especially in the late 2010s.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, just growing up with that and just having religion being forced upon my adolescence and then having to stew in it for so long, but still being an active member of the church, because I played drums in church.
Right.
I had to do something if I'm going to be here 3 nights a week. So,
Right. Right.
and hating every second of it because I don't believe half the shit in the book. And, I
But
might
at
be a
least if
little,
you're working the mathematics of the drums, you're awake, like
I
yeah.
guess. And then, having tried pot at a very young age and that being a big thing I had to hide, just because, I mean, I'm 16, you don't want to bring that in the house, not to dish out my family's like past or anything, but those were problems in their households growing up. So
Right.
it's that whole cycle of repression and shame that we keep circling back to.
Yep.
You'll never understand your parents' traumas, but you'll inherit it, and that'll turn into shame over time. So, then you got to
That's
unlearn it at some point.
that's right. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's critical, man. That's absolutely critical to understand. Um, and yeah, as a parent on the other side of it too, like
Yeah.
as a parent, I am sometimes picturing my son in a therapist's office, and when he's older, what is he saying?
Yeah, no.
Right? What is this dude talking about?
Yeah.
And so I'm fighting against that. Um, but that's part of the game, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, like, it's just a lot of like religious trauma that kind of fuels the record because it's the only way that I can kind of rationalize it, but also rebel against it and say, this isn't something that I agree with. Here's why. And if you're not willing to listen to that, then maybe there's a problem. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe I'm the problem.
Right,
Who
you
knows?
acknowledge its place in your life, but you're not going to give lip service. You're not going to make it amazing when it wasn't amazing. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
And
makes
it's not
sense.
like not like I approach religion of it in an uh what's the word? I mean, it's definitely sacrilegious, but it's my God, what's the word where you don't believe
Atheist.
Atheist. Thank you.
Atheist, yeah.
It wasn't in an atheist tone. It was more agnostic than anything. More like I believe in God because I was taught to believe in God, not because I want to.
Right.
But now I don't know about it anymore. So that's the position I have on it.
Yep. And it's a relationship that you come back to and discuss. It's almost like a relationship with a relative you lived with, but didn't always love living with. And when they when they left, you were like, "This isn't all bad, but
Yeah.
this is still someone who's a part of my life." You know, like
Like here's how I'll. This is the sum of it. This is the summation of it.
Yep.
I didn't believe in God. I believed in the fear of God. There
Yeah.
it is.
That's it. That sums it up, King. That
Yeah.
um, you have Kay, you have any more questions?
No, I mean, not, I can't follow that.
Right. So
Nice.
Monz,
Hello.
let's go to recommendation corner and recommend some music.
Cool.
Oh shit. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Bet.
So I'm going to just where did I not do this? Where is this thing at? Walls, who produced for Luca and is super dope. I just really enjoy his production because it's not really all sample based. It's like it's very steely and fearful. He released Carlo Volume 1.
What's it called?
Carlo Volume 1.
No, the artist.
Oh, Walls, WALZ. Yeah.
Walls. Okay, bet.
And it's a beat tape. But it's like themed around like Monte Carlo racing and shit. It's
Oh snap! Hell
it's
yeah!
good. It's really
Oh,
cool.
that is dope as hell.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're gonna have to make me like a Spotify playlist and like send it to me,
Yeah, man.
and then I can like add songs. Cause okay, Walls.
I got it. Right.
Okay, bet. Hell yeah, dude.
Volume 1. Yeah, the work Walls did with Luca is unbelievable. You gotta check that out if you haven't.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that was great stuff. I've also been going back, and you saw this, I know, Monzy, but like I listened to Evil Empire, Rage Against the Machine.
Amazing record, man.
Still absolutely adore that album. And I remember being like the only one I knew who liked it when it came out. And I'm still very happy with myself for enjoying that.
I got that on CD, dog. I got that for $5 at a disc
Yeah.
replay. I bump that shit when I can.
I'm sure I got one down here
Yeah,
somewhere.
I have Spotify now, so I can just listen to it. But I'm still proud of that $5 I spent on that shit, dude.
Oh, let me go. I got a few more, but yeah. So Kay, there's a 2 songs that came out. Previous Industries is the name of the group.
Open Mike Eagle's new
Open Mike
new
Eagle,
group.
Video Dave, Still Rift.
Still.
And it's one song is produced by Child Actor, the other by Kelly.
Corley Chris. Yeah.
They're
Hell yeah.
good.
I haven't heard them yet, but I plan to afterwards.
I really enjoy it. The and the other one, Keith, I'm not sure how. There's this group called Death at the Derby. Have I told you about
shit.
this? Guys?
Okay.
Death of the Derby.
Death at the Derby.
Death at the Derby. Panic
Yep.
at the Disco. Okay.
And at the Derby, it's Cousin Theo and Lord Juco, and it's
Okay.
like hardcore hip hop, but like about soccer.
That's
Okay.
dope. Okay.
And they're
Let's go.
they're super like nerdy about soccer. Like
It's just soccer raps, dude.
yes.
Let's go,
Let
baby.
me maybe I can share my screen and show you the friggin' track listing. Is
Okay.
unbelievable. Like it's Balloon d'Or, I think is the name of the album, right? And if you look at the you got 99 Beckham, right? Like 02 Robert Carlos, 94 Maldini, like They're just super nerdy about soccer, and I know nothing about soccer. I really love like tough ass nerdy rap.
I'll probably show this to my nephew because he loves soccer. Like he's a star. Yo, shout out my nephew. You guys don't deserve to know his name because he's 9, but he's a fucking star player on his team. I'm proud of that little dude. Hell yeah. Shout out Redacted, bro.
Yeah,
Acted, yeah, keep
great name.
but I'm with you. Like,
Hell yeah.
my son's really into soccer too, and like I played him some of the last Death at the Derby album, but he was like, "I have that guy on my 2K." Like,
Oh, snap. Yeah, I have to show him that then.
yeah,
Hell yeah, dude.
he's loving it. There's like the Beckham song has bars that are like, "Got in a fight with Fergie, fuck that bitch," like it's crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude, Juco's awesome.
I'll check it out then. Hell yeah,
I love
dude.
it. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Dylan, Monzy, what are you recommending? What do you got?
Yeah, you want to go?
Sure. I mean, there's one album I love to recommend. It's not hip hop, but
Do
this
it.
band, they're called Loathe, Loathe.
Low.
I let it in and it took everything.
Hell
It's
yeah.
a incredible album, 10 out of 10, front to back, like just perfect. Very inspiring listen, very cool music. It's metalcore, deathcore-ish, but they kind of put their own spin on it. They're definitely Loathe when you listen to it. So that's
What is the album name?
I let it in and it took everything.
Okay,
How many do we get? 'Cause I got 3.
I got another
go
one.
for it. Go for
As
it.
many as you want.
The second one, same kind of genre. Band's called Vane FM, and the album's called Error Zone. Incredible album, like
Amazing record.
so good.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. Shit. I might have 4. Damn.
Go ahead.
Okay. So there's this experimental jazz electronic artist. Her name is Nala Sinefro. Album called Space 1.8. Bro, listen, when I tell you that I'll just go on my balcony and hook it up to my speaker and like smoke a joint and like start writing to it, I'm so productive when I listen to it. Nala Sinefro, Space 1.8.
It's on Warp Records.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. Second one. Oh, my bad, homie. Cara Jackson. Cara Jackson.
Oh,
Why does the earth give us
give us
people to
people to
love?
love. It was my
dude.
number 2 album of the year last year.
Dude.
Mhm.
Had it number 2.
Dog, it's so good. It is so good and introspective, and it's like, oh, like dark-skinned black girl save me. Like, it's that type beat, dude. Love that album. If you're into more folky indie stuff,
What a writer. What a writer.
and then this band called New World Man. They're a hardcore band. This record called The Beast Is Back. They have fucking Primus parts, but the vocalist sounds like an animal. It's like a mixture of like Human Furnace from Ringworm and Dwid from Integrity. He just sounds fucking monstrous. New World Man, The Beast Is Back.
Keith, you got to see this cover. The Beast Is Back. Oh my God.
So, dude, it's insane.
That cover is bananas. Wow. I'm going to check that out.
Hell yeah. And my fourth one, I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all know who it is. I'm new to anyway. I mean, it's Sleeping Dogs.
Oh.
What's that fucking faking my own death just to get some rest?
Yes.
Andrew, Jesse the Tree, an amazing record, dude.
Crazy.
It's like, man, I don't know how to describe it. Oh man, if you like if you like Earl Sweatshirt's production, but Cameron rapping over it,
Yep.
then you'll love Sleeping Dogs. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you're a fan of them already. But yeah,
Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs, Faking My Own Death, Just Against the Rest. And those are my 4 recommendations.
And shout out Life is a Masterpiece.
Shout out Life.
Ooh,
is
life
a
is a masterpiece.
Avant-garde.
Crazy.
Hell yeah. The Sun is Yellow, Tom Can't Sleep.
Woo.
Rich Jones, just in general.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out Sketchman 85.
Gotta go.
Ratman Gavin, all my niggas. Trey does it. Yo.
Trey.
Shout out Trey. Shout out Samuel Gergish.
Yo,
Shout out fucking
anybody out there, if anybody out there hasn't heard Ratman Gavin's last EP,
Blank Thought, dude.
dog,
it's
I
so
stand
good,
on
man.
that shit. That shit is crazy. To
Dude.
live and die in any given place. It's
Any
with
given
Cloud and
place.
Slump. To live and die
It's
in
an insane, dude.
6 songs.
Scale Beats. My bad. Go ahead.
Crazy.
It's 6 songs and it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's
But
amazing.
yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah.
got more shout outs. Shout out I Left My Body Behind. Shout out Tub Girl. Shout out Torture Pig. Those are bands. You should check them out.
Yeah.
Shout out Drain Me. Let's go.
Do it.
All right.
I appreciate. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
This
Thank
was
you.
Thank
everything
you
I
guys.
wanted it to be. I'm so
Oh,
happy
yeah, no, same,
that we got to
dude.
chop it up.
Hell, dude. I'm
Of
excited.
course, thank you.
Yeah. Like we're super honored.
First time we've done something like this. So
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a gift to be able to be that stepping stone,
Yeah.
and hopefully you'll be too important for me.
No, if you want to
Yeah,
do
we'll be
this,
back.
we'll be back.
Yeah.
Nigga. What's up?
We'll be at
I
the-
yearn for that shit. Some
Great.
people
We'll
are
do
like
it,
all
yeah.
mad about this shit. If you get out of the bracket where you don't even fuck with me anymore, I'm like, shout out to you. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Dude.
shout out to you though.
Free Music Empire, Dan, Keith, we'll always fuck with you guys. You could do this every year if you want. Who gives a shit?
I want
Same day
all my
every year.
favorite artists to be well off enough to get out of bad neighborhoods. That's all I'm saying.
when we're at fucking Riot Fest, when we're at Rolling Loud, we'll put you on.
That's it.
Yes.
I'll do the impressions.
What will tomorrow bring?